10 years we've been doing this, and we've had a very successful run, and we have been able to inspire about nearly 10,000 school children and college students through our various human education programs. And in the next 1 minute, I'm just going to be telling you all a little personal experience of mine, a little story, because I would like to share this thing because I have gone from one end of caring for animals to the other end of it. I have been a person who never looked at a dog twice or a cat twice. And here I am actually right now trying to educate and inspire children to be doing just that. So today we have, in fact, we've had dogs all along ever since I got my first dog. And now I have 3 rescue dogs at my place. It all started when I happened to meet my now husband. At that time, he used to have a dog it was a Pomeranian dog called Pommy. And he was leaving town, and so he wanted somebody to take care of the dog. So who else better than me? So, and I, of course, you know how difficult it is to say no to your boyfriend. So there was no question of saying no. And then they went ahead and said yes. And that was all the beginning. And then we had this Pommy in my house. And he actually stole our hearts, my parents and mine and everybody else's. And why I'm telling you the story is just to highlight the fact that, many of us think that I'm not a dog person. I'm not an animal person. Or nature is not for me. I'm too busy with my work, kind of a thing. I think it's not like that. I feel that we can spare a little time from our busy schedules. We get up in the morning, get off to work, we never even look outside the window. If we can just look outside, there's such a large world which is so beautiful, which we might just miss out. So I just urge all of you to take some time out sometime, and let's all enlarge our circle of compassion to all living creatures around the world. Let's look at those, the ants which fall by, and we may just squash them up. I think we should just care for them. Similarly with the honeybees who are doing their own things, dogs, cats, let's put out a bowl of water for the birds. Let's feed a stray dog now and then. And I think this will make a lot of difference to the way we live. And I think we'll also be able to give back a little bit to nature. And more than anything else, I think it will make a lot of difference to our lives. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for hosting us today. Thank you, Vasanthi ma'am. As Vasanthi ma'am rightly said, you all can start from wherever you are. You don't really need to be an animal lover or say that I'm an animal person or things like that, or environmentalist. You can all start from wherever you are. And the whole idea that why you had this webinar, you thought of this webinar, is definitely a step in the right direction. My name is Preeti Singh. I'm associated with STRAW for over close to 3 years now, and I'm part of Humane Education and Outreach Program. We've done a lot of programs in various schools and colleges over the past many years. And the whole idea is that when you educate, when people know better, they do better. So the whole idea is awareness, make each one care for one. And that's what we're going to talk about, and how all of you can contribute. And I know for a fact that your college, St. Stephen, and you all are contributing in some way or the other towards the betterment of animals on the streets and environment. A lot of you guys have already actively been very compassionate in taking initiatives in the college to make sure that their lives become a little better. All right, so today we're going to talk about welfare of stray animals during the pandemic, and the life of stray animal and how we all can help, if at all. Okay, my name is Preeti Singh, so I'll be taking you through this. So let's start with some myths and facts. So we all have some notions, we all have some learnings since our childhood about stray animals, and especially during Corona period, pandemic, we've heard so many WhatsApp messages we've got. So let's check our knowledge first. So here is the first one. Stray animals transmit coronavirus to humans. Is that a myth or a fact? Is that true or false? And I can't see the chat window, so I would prefer if you can just unmute yourself and share your answer.
Ma'am, this is completely a myth.
Okay, so that is false.
Ma'am, can I attempt?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning of coronavirus enter into India, people used to think about it is a rational form, like saying that through animals, through hens is going to. So we need to ban the eating of chicken. So I can say that it won't transmit through these animals. This is my opinion.
Okay. All right. So yes, that is absolutely false. That's a complete myth, and even WHO has confirmed that it's a myth. There is no evidence which shows that stray animals transmit coronavirus to humans. So you're all absolutely correct. So you're not going by WhatsApp University, I believe. Okay, then moving on to the next one. Pets, dogs, cats, birds increase the risk of coronavirus. If you already have a pet, does that increase the risk of coronavirus in your house? Is that a myth or a fact?
We have myth and never, so they have strong. Yeah.
So yeah, that's also completely false. That's a myth. Again, floated around by WhatsApp universities, but there is no evidence by WHO which says that pets increase the risk of coronavirus. Feeding strays causes increase in stray dog population. So if you're feeding a dog, that will lead to more dogs. It'll increase the population. Is that true or false? Any guess would also do. We'll talk about all these things in detail, so don't worry. There's no judgment. Nobody is really. There's no marking happening here.
So we've got myth and false, and myth
Manna says
false. I think they're unanimous. Very.
So it's false, right?
Can you more elaborate about feeding strays?
We will talk about that. Yes, we will talk about that. The whole idea of this myths and facts, right at the start of the session, is to understand what all beliefs do we have at the start of the session, and then as we move forward with this presentation, you will be able to get answers to all your questions around these topics. So, feeding strays causes increase in stray dog population. It's absolutely false. It's a myth. It's not true. Feeding actually is one best way to friend a dog and get them sterilized and reduce stray dog population. ABC is the most humane way to control stray dog population. ABC stands for Animal Birth Control. You must have seen it on municipal corporation vans. It's the most humane way to control stray dog population. Is that true or false? Do we have any responses in the chat?
Not sure.
Not sure. Okay.
Is not sure.
No, that was for the previous question answer.
False.
Okay.
False. Opa says false.
Okay. All right. So yes, it is. This one's true. This is not false. This is true actually. This is by Animal Welfare Board of India and by all around the globe, all the animal welfare associations, the law, the regulation. This is the most humane way to control stray dog population. And we'll talk about that and we'll answer all your questions as we move forward. Stray dogs and cattle can survive without food and water for months. Is that true or false? Do we have any responses in the chat?
Yeah, false. Myth.
False.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody
False.
unmuted. Is that
Ma'am,
Gopal?
false. Yeah, it is false.
Okay. I like that affirmation. Like, yes, for sure it's false. Okay. Yes, it is false. Can't survive. Maximum is 7 days, but that too without food, but water is difficult. Definitely not for months. Only NGOs can provide food and medical attention to strays. So only these organizations can and are responsible for providing food and medical attention to strays. True or false?
Okay, they say mostly false.
Yes.
I'm false.
Somebody
Because
said
just now we discussed about the pet lover cynophile, right? So similarly, there are a lot of people who are animal patent people were there. So they have concern about them. So we can't say that only NGOs will work on this. So that's why we have more articles and schedules about this, right? So we need
Yeah.
to think about it, right?
Absolutely. So, Ipshita, you were just reading out a response from the chat. What was that?
Yeah, so somebody said true. Sampada said true.
Sampada says true.
Okay, so NGOs, we will talk about that. The NGOs, they definitely, as an organized body, in an organized manner, they do take care of stray animals, the medical attention and all of that. They are qualified, trained, and they look for resources through donation and other means to run that organization, to take care of animals. That's a very dedicated, organized structure. But whereas that's, as per Animal Welfare Board of India, each one of us can take care of animals. Each one of us can take care of environment. We all can take care of strays. It is an equal shared responsibility. And each NGO has their different objective when it comes to taking care of animals or environment. There is a very set agenda, focused area that they work on. Some may only work on rescue cases, abandonment cases. Some will only work on, let's say, pets. Some will only work on medical cases, emergencies. Some will only run ambulances, and some will provide food. So it is varied depending on the NGO and their capacity, and they're always overwhelmed. Like Straw is an organization, we don't run an ambulance, but we do advisory. We educate, spread awareness. We empower people with that knowledge that how each one of you can contribute and take care of stray animals. So it's a shared equal responsibility. NGOs do it in a more organized way because it's like an organization. But trust me, they're all overwhelmed definitely with the corona times and the issues that we all are facing. They are also overwhelmed and shortage of staff and lack of resources. A COVID positive patient can take care of a pet physically. So if in a household there is a pet.
No,
and-
ma'am. No,
Any-
false. No.
Any other responses in the chat?
False.
Yes, it is false. And the reason for that is, again, this is by WHO, that a COVID positive patient can transmit, a human being can transmit to a pet. So it is important that the COVID positive patient stays away from the pet in the house. That does not mean that you have to abandon the pet. You just there has to be some other caretaker in the family who takes care of the pet while this person recovers. Because it is believed by WHO's research that the corona positive, the droplets that we talk about, they land on the fur. Like any substance, the fur of an animal like a cat or a dog, and it stays there for 72 hours at minimum. So it is important. And we can talk about how to take care of that pet also who's been in a contact with a COVID positive patient. You need to give a medicated bath to that dog or a cat. And that's about it. Keep it physically distant from that human who's positive till the person recovers. But this COVID positive person can still take care of the dog or the cat or a pet, like emotionally, like financially or through resources, but just need to maintain that physical distance. That's very, very important. But animals cannot, as we discussed earlier, but the pet cannot transmit further to another human being or another dog or another animal. Okay, so let's be very clear on that. So this is false. All right, so I am glad that we all are almost on the same page. There are a few questions around the ABC and the feeding strays, which we'll cover as we move forward. During the course of this presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask whenever you feel right, and unmute yourself, show us, be on the video. We like that. Otherwise, towards the end also, if you like, we can have a Q&A session. But let's make it interactive. Let's all just learn from each other. So presence of strays in India. So as per India's Livestock Census 2012, there are about 17.13 million stray dogs, 5.28 million cattle in India. And as per the recent study, it's not so recent, but this is the only data which is actually available. In 2018, the population of stray dog in India was around 30 to 35 million. Okay. Now tell me, how do animals find food for themselves? Like, what are their sources? How do they get food and water? we did see some of that in Ipshita's little game as well. So how do stray animals find food?
Garbage, wherever we thrown dump yards. So in addition to that, wherever in the market where we buy stuff like that, whatever have been left or spoil, that vegetables like that. In addition to that, just now we spoke about NGO, and in addition to that, some pet lovers. So these are the sources of food they can get.
Okay. Do we have any other responses in the chat?
Not yet.
Okay.
So I guess you can share your answers.
Okay, so yes, as you rightly said, local feeders, eateries and restaurants, garbage area, office and college complexes. Like in your college complexes, I understand right now you're all at home in different parts of India. But when your college campus, you see dogs. So whatever you see a dog near the canteen area, some students feeding in the office complexes also, the employees are feeding the dogs with whatever leftover, or sometimes they actually keep the food aside, buy the proper dog food and keep it for them, for dogs and cats and birds. And there are local feeders. So these are broadly the main 4 areas from where they source the food. NGOs are also there, but NGOs don't really go out to feed. They only take care of the dogs, it was a different situation in pandemic, but NGOs will, if they run a shelter, they will only be able to take care of the dogs within their capacity, within their shelter. They may just immediately feed the ones which are just immediate out of the vicinity, but not, they won't really go out on a feeding like a drive. Okay. So yes, we're dealing with like 30 to 35 if 2018 data is to be believed, and obviously we are in 2020. So we are definitely dealing with a big number for stray dogs, and cattle is also 5.28 million in 2012. So we all understand where they get their food from, and let's quickly look at. I'm going to show you a little video, 4 minutes, to show you this. What's a life? What is a life of a stray dog on a street? Just a 4-minute video. We're talking before pandemic life. Okay, so please be on mute. It's just a 4-minute video. Let me know if you can hear. Okay. Are you able to hear it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, we can hear.
Are you able to hear it? Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys.
Yeah,
Were
they
you
can
able to hear?
Yeah,
In
yes.
case you can't hear, you have to send a message on the chat box, and then we can. I think they can all hear.
Yeah.
me.
Okay. Because I can't see the chat window, so let me know. Okay, I'll start.
Hey, I'm dog, not a fancy dog, just a street pup. I'm called man's best friend, and I believe that. My mommy doesn't. Humans are danger, she said. But I always told her, humans are big. They must have a big heart. I just gotta find it. But then I step out in the real world and I'm alone. Humans don't love me. They stone me, shoot me, kick me. I didn't do nothing. I just wanna play and make friends. A belly rub would be nice. And I wanna ask you, what if your kid was stoned? What if your kid was chased away? And what if you could do nothing? What's the difference between fancy dogs and me? I swear I would love you just as much. I would protect you just as much. I would lick you just as much. I got super immunity too. I like kids. And kids like me. But their moms get really mad. I don't bite. Actually, we don't just bite everyone we see, you know. Even if I'm a dog, I got better things to do. I run and jump for you because I'm happy. I'm happy when I'm with you. I'm happy to just sit by you. I never wanted to leave. I never wanted to go. But everyone leaves and everyone goes. And me? I just keep My brother was run over by a fast car. I guess the driver didn't see him. Or did he? My mom was poisoned. She was trouble, they said. She wasn't. The more I miss her, the more I realize humans forgot humanity. They forgot love. They forgot that no matter what, kindness and friendship always pull through. And I'll walk these streets today and the next day with a new hope every single day. Having faith in the friendship we once had. That if I keep looking hard enough, I'll find that big heart human had. And I'll pray that a big heart finds me.
Alrighty. So how was that? Before we move to other things, any thoughts? That's the life of a stray pet, and
Really heartbreaking.
so this is actually a sneak peek into a life of a stray pup, trying to find food, water, a little care. Yes. So this is just a little sneak peek, and as we've seen, and Sinjini has correctly summarized that this is the life of a stray pup. So this is the life generally without a pandemic, without coronavirus or any of these lockdowns that we are facing. I hope you all can hear me all right.
In
Yes,
case you
ma'am,
can't hear, you can send a message.
Okay, all right.
Samsara says it's related to the stray dogs where he's finding food, love and playing with everyone.
Yeah. All right. So this was the life, and now with pandemic, what do you think was the impact? Now this is the usual life without lockdown, without any pandemic, without Corona times as we call it. But what do you think? And that's the whole topic of this discussion today. What was the impact? And it's still going on because the lockdown is still on in some states, and sometimes over the weekend, sometimes yes. So what do you think is the impact on strays and pets during pandemic? What are your thoughts? What is your assessment? You must have seen something around, some observations that you would like to share with us.
Like stray dogs used to get a lot of food, treats from the restaurants and tea stalls, which are now closed. So the dogs living near the tea stalls and the restaurants are starved, and they have to depend on the regular feeders or NGOs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Preeti, there's also another message from Mrinal. Mrinal says that, wait, I'll just read out. It must be harder for them to find food and water. And Sampada says people ignoring them sometimes in the park when we are walking.
Yeah, that's true. It's unfortunate that people still believe, and through this session, one thing we really request you all, now that you know that animals don't transmit coronavirus, there are still people who believe that they do, and therefore they do not take care of stray dogs or stray animals and abandoned pets. So just to give you a little idea, due to pandemic and lockdown, millions of stray animals and hundreds of pets suffered due to major dearth of food and water. As one of you rightly said, the eateries, the small eateries, the tea stalls, the office complexes, the college campus, everything was shut. There was no garbage. Can you believe that? There was no garbage. People were not walking out, which is a good thing that there was no garbage. It's good for the environment. But when people are not even stepping out to feed them, and there is no local eatery, no restaurant, no local shops, no local feeder, then how would they get? They will only rely on garbage, and that too also was not there. And pets are also being abandoned every day, being dumped in shelters, because people have this notion that shelters are there only to take care of all the animals, without realizing how overburdened they are with the lack of resources and overcapacity with stray animals. So we cannot dump dogs in shelters. They die. We are not doing any good by dumping any dog or a cat or any animal in a shelter, because they die. A pet who had a family once cannot live on a street, cannot live on a shelter. So, and since lockdown 1, according to the report by News Indian Express, hundreds of pets were abandoned. This is since lockdown 1, and this report is from April. Friendicos alone, Friendicos is a shelter in South Delhi. They alone, one shelter only, found 30 abandoned dogs left tied outside their shelter. So people come, like Sanjay Gandhi, I'm sure that's another shelter by People for Animals, and they're in another part of Delhi. They find abandoned pets left, right, center, like every day, pandemic or no pandemic. Any pet injured, a pet with medical condition, they just come tie outside the shelter at wee hours, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning when nobody's around. And in a very, very bad, deplorable condition. Because and there were a lot of news articles around this information. So it was already very tough for a stray pup or a stray animal to survive on a street. But with pandemic, with lockdown, with all the more limited resources with people, and so much of rumors around animals spreading coronavirus, their life was like really miserable, and it became worse. So, and pets, like especially the breed dogs, if I talk about breed cats, breed dogs, who are like pedigreed dogs, people often buy them from breeders, which is not a great practice. You're just adding the number in the shelter at the end of the day. They cannot even live on a street. They don't know how to live on a street. To survive on their own, to find food, they don't know. They only know they've been bred to be in a family setup. They've been bred to be in a shaded, comforted environment where they have a proper timing of a food and water. So they die. They don't have road sense. So they just met with an accident. They are found injured in a very sad condition. And then on the other hand, you have stray dogs. So yes, I mean, it became worse. So during this time, I'm not sure, and I understand that you all are from different parts of India. A lot of people had this notion that, we cannot step out, it's coronavirus, there is lockdown situation, we cannot go out to feed. Even the people who were feeding before the lockdown, they stopped coming out because they feared coronavirus, and they thought that they are not allowed because it's strict lockdown. They don't have the permission. And a lot of owners were started to abandon their pets outside shelters, or just going and tying them to a secluded spot, or just leaving them stranded. The cattle, not just dogs, but cattle, pig, all the stray animals that you see around, they all suffered. because their major source of food and water was either the garbage, these eateries, the vegetable markets, or feeders. And for everybody else, everyone suffered totally. So during this time, Animal Welfare Advisory, Animal Welfare Board of India, the autonomous body that we have to take care of animals and have rules and regulations around animal welfare, they came up with a lot of advisories during this time, and it took a while, like they came up with these advisories in mid-April onwards, and it was already a month of a lockdown. Dogs, cattle, I personally have seen, they have died left, right, center. Like I've seen around, starved and then dying on the road. So to dispel myths and help animals during the lockdown, the Animal Welfare Board of India, country's top body for animals, issued several urgent circulars. I don't know how many of you would have seen. There were pet shops where people just shut the shops with the live animals locked up inside, where all sorts of animals, all sorts of birds, the pretty birds that we see in the cages in pet shops, they were all locked up, and people just ran back to their hometowns during lockdown. And they never came back to even think about what will happen to these animals locked up in their shops, who were once part of their business and money, and they were giving them a livelihood. So urgent circulars were issued by Animal Welfare Board to urgently evacuate these pets and birds. Obviously, it took a while. We lost quite a few lives, but it was successful. It happened, and all pet shops, the proper advisory was circulated. All pet shops were supposed to be evacuated immediately. And to the owners who were abandoning their pets, there was a warning issued to them, advisory issued to them, reiterating that WHO has clearly said there is no evidence that animals, especially dogs or cats, most of these are pets, will transmit any virus to them. And also local feeders were given passes. Even if somebody is traveling from Delhi to Gurgaon or Gurgaon to some other area to feed dogs, they were allowed, they were given passes. And there will be, as long as a feeder, you wear the mask, you have the gloves on, and to make sure that, because you may transmit it to an animal, so you have to make sure that you take all the safety measures and you go out at a fixed hour to feed the dogs. I go out feed, and I still do, because as you rightly said, the shop office complexes are still shut. People have not returned. Eateries have shut down forever. They are not going to come back. So we have to feed. So I still go out and feed, and you see that the change in them, because now with the food and water, it is important. And once you start giving them food and water, the sterilization, which is also called the animal birth control, the ABC that we were talking. So just here at this point, I want to just quickly share those two myths that we were discussing earlier, that feeding stray dogs does not increase the population, stray dog population. It in fact helps. It is written in Animal Welfare Board advisory. It's by the law. It says, one, it's a fundamental duty to be compassionate, to be loving and caring towards street animals. It is your fundamental right. So nobody can really stop you from doing that, if you obviously do it with all the safety measures, especially in these corona times. And when you feed a dog, the dog or the cat, the cattle, they have the dog especially, they build trust in you. You are able to help with any distress, any injuries. If the dog is friendly with you, the injury and the treatment, the first aid becomes much more easier if the dog trusts you. And then you also you will be able to help the dog get vaccinated. You'll be able to help the dog get sterilized, which is the animal birth control. So that is why feeding is important. Feeding is not increasing the population. It cannot do that. That's a natural process that they go through, but of increasing the population, but it's not because of the feeding. Feeding and responsible feeding are the two ways that you can actually help get them vaccinated. You can take care of an injured dog or a cat, and you'll be able to provide them any medical or any attention required to make their life better on the street. And second is ABC, Animal Birth Control. So around the globe, globally, this is a notion that the only way you can control a stray dog population is through sterilization, which means that they will not go through the reproduction process and there'll be no more pups. Because if when pups happen on the street, they die a miserable death, they get into an accidents, and dogs get into fighting, and that increases more harm. You don't want to see dead bodies around, you don't want to see pups lying around. So to have control over all of that, ABC is the best humane way that we have, that is possible. When you do ABC, when a dog gets sterilized, this is, I'm telling you, medically proven. When you get a dog sterilized, that is the best gift that you can give to a stray dog, because the dog will be infection free for life. They will not get into any such fights while mating and other things. They won't become territorial as they become aggressive, finding their mate from one colony to another. They will not get into any such fights. They won't get injured like that. They will be infection free for life. They'll be vaccinated for anti-rabies, and this is all happens as part of sterilization. And they will gain a very good weight, and they'll live a very healthy life. They won't catch infections, like they may have like a fever or something like that, but usual infections they won't catch. They will have good immunity post sterilization. So ABC is the best humane way. And I always tell people who call that this is the best gift that you can give to a stray dog. If you don't want to feed, that's fine, but work with the local agencies, work with local feeders, and try and get the dog sterilized. And when you get the dog sterilized, they are also vaccinated against rabies. Anti-rabies injection vaccination is also given to them. So any questions? I'll just pause here for a second. I know I've given quite a few information. So any questions, any thoughts here, please feel free to share.
Yeah, Preeti, so we have something that I have shared. I would like to read out something that Sampada has shared. This was nice information, but ma'am, everyone is ignoring them because of the reason COVID-19 only. But when COVID-19 was not there, people would care, and we would do one thing for the stray dogs, and we would give them chicken and some food and do great, because for dogs on the street, that was a good way to go about. I've seen many cases like dogs, birds, cats, etc. who have died through food and all, because some people are also giving care to them in a social center who has so basically we feel insecure in all the things which will be provided to the animals and for human too. I also give animal food, milk and all other things in the evening and in the morning also.
Okay, who's this person? What's her name? I could catch the name.
Sampada.
Okay, okay, Sampada, thank you for sharing your thoughts. So where do you stay? Are you in Delhi NCR or outside Delhi?
Sampada, if you can unmute yourself and you can tell us.
Sampada is not there.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, I stay in Delhi only.
Okay.
Ma'am, I
Which
was
part?
there, ma'am, far like in Rajouri side.
Okay. Yeah. I know.
Ma'am, I was just saying that the WHO has done, because I have also worked with them. WHO in a COVID-19 cases, they were like doing. I'm also from Stephens only. I have done language course there. So, ma'am, I was just saying that we just provide a street dogs of food and everything, but the people are like beating them and just ignoring them. But we don't like this behavior of some of the people, and when we say them don't do this and that, so they just say what's your point of view, why are you saying us, it's our life, our wishes, हमें जो करना है हम वो करेंगे. But dogs have a dogs के पास भी वही feelings होती है जो human के पास feeling होती है, जो इंसानों के पास feeling होती है. तो वही सी चीज़ है. I so much love dogs because I have also a dog. मतलब मेरे पास भी एक dog है, pug है. तो मैं उसे हमेशा उसके साथ केयर करती हूँ, उसे करती हूँ। एंड नीचे भी स्ट्रीट पे भी मैं डॉग्स को चिकन एंड ऑल द स्टफ देती हूँ। तो दे लाइक आप मेरे एरिया में मत दो, आपको देना है तो आप बाहर जाके दो उन्हें। तो मतलब ये जो ट्रीट दे डू, मतलब ऐसे ट्रीट करते, तो मुझे समझ नहीं आता कि उनके साथ ऐसे उन मेंटालिटी वाले लोगों के साथ कैसे उन्हें हैंडल किया जाए, क्योंकि वो भी एक इंसान ही है, डॉग भी एक इंसान ही के तरह ही है, जिन्हें बस प्यार चाहिए। इफ़ आप तुम प्यार करोगे तो वो भी तुम्हें एज अ साइड लव अफेक्शन सब शो करेंगे। But some won't understand people and they just scream on us. Because I have
Thank you.
worked with NGO, I just worked with an NGO. So when I was in a college, last year of my college finished. When I was in a college, so I was doing an internship. So where I was working for a special children, where I was doing a social cause. So some special children were also knowing this game, how we should love the pet, every single pet. They were like, they were thinking कि वहाँ पे जो school था, there was a school के पूरी आंचल स्पेशल स्कूल था, वहाँ पे दे रैट्स और रैबिट्स को बहुत अच्छे से वो लोग फीड करते थे, और हेंस को भी बहुत अच्छे से वो लोग फीड करते थे। बट जब वो कोई बाहर से कोई आता था, वो इग्नोर कर देते थे और उन्हें चीज़ों को उन्हें खाना नहीं देते थे, उनको दूर रखते थे। तो एक दो वो उन इंसिडेंट की वजह से मर भी गए। बट वो स्कूल पूरा पर्टिकुलरली स्पेशल बच्चों के लिए, बट वो स्पेशल बच्चे उनको पेट्स और उनके केयर करते हैं वहाँ पे।
Wow. Yeah, but thank you, Sampata. Thank you for sharing this, because this is actually a reality. COVID is become a fear and excuse also in most. We have seen recently for not feeding the dogs या animals को feed नहीं करने के लिए एक excuse भी बन गया है काफी जगह। Pets को abandon करने का एक excuse बन गया है। Shops में ऐसे ही पेट्स को लॉक्ड अप, बर्ड्स को लॉक अप करके भाग के जाना, वापस अपने होम टाउन चले जाना, ये एक एक्सक्यूज बन गया है। बट एट द सेम टाइम, यस, वी ऑल्सो हैव लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर देयर हु दे डोंट लाइक डॉग्स, दे डोंट लाइक द साइट ऑफ एनिमल्स अराउंड एट ऑल. They have their own reasons, and we will see. I have been through that myself. It's a struggle. So, but my suggestion, based on what I have learned over the period of time, like I've had it's been more than 10 years that I've been feeding dogs. I've seen people who beat the dogs. They're very cruel. They don't let live is not what they really follow. So for those people, you don't have to change the person. You just have to make sure that you are feeding responsible. You are not doing anything which is against Animal Welfare Board of India's advisory as a responsible feeder, and we'll talk about that. So when they say that you don't feed here, there, the important thing is, first, if you see another person beating a dog or harming another animal or a bird, you raise your voice. Okay, they may say, "Aapko kya farak padta hai? This is none of your business. Let me do what I want to do. Like you feed the dogs, I want to beat the dogs." A lot of people say that. This is what they do. Gunshots for pigeons on their terrace. So a lot of people do different things. That is what they. But if we what I'm saying this from my experience, and I've seen it, there is a change that happens if you continue, if your behavior is consistent, that like where you feed, and you feed by the law, in the sense you feed at a fixed hour, you don't throw things from the balcony, you don't throw just few crumbs here and there, and if you just feed responsibly at a fixed hour, at a fixed spot which is away from any movement of people, like for instance, if you stay in an apartment, then you in your society in that area, like if you're staying in Rajouri, there are a lot of independent houses there. So you need to make sure you find a secluded spot where there is no movement of vehicle and not too much of people moving around, and put bartan wahan pe and wahan khana do at a fixed hour, and preferably that hour should be either early morning, maybe a little bit of inconvenience, or late night when shops close, things are shut down.
Yeah.
As long as we are doing that, that is first step. I know a lot of people do that already, but we need to just make sure that we are following that advisory. of being a responsible feeder first. If still you see some people shouting, breaking all your food pots or not letting you feed, you get an e-pass made. Animal welfare issues an e-pass. A card, a feeder card. Do you have that? So we will send you a link. So there is a link through which you can get a feeder's card, a card made. Still, if you think people will still create issues. It's not going to stop like that. If you show the card, it's not like a Government of India ka ID card nahi hone wala wo. It is like a valid proof that you're feeding as per Animal Welfare Board of advisories, and you have a valid card. You're feeding at a particular time by their rules and all that. People may still create problems. So for those people, you find the local other group of volunteers around your area and create a group and raise a complaint. Near Rajouri, you have Sanjay Gandhi, where Ambika Shukla ma'am is there. So you can really go, and it's very close by. Otherwise, also, you can simply write an email to Animal Welfare Board of India. You can write an email to People for Animal. If you see the continuous behavior of beating the dogs, people do a lot of things. Like I have seen throwing acids, also throwing red chili powder, doing all sorts of nonsense in the name of God. Also, they've done. But you know it is not right. Raise your voice. But first, before you raise that voice, you have to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
There was an incident where the social media people, one woman was beating and killing a dog. It was a big crime. That girl or that lady should go in a jail. But I think कुछ law के through वो बच गई. I think उसके family में कोई होगा तो उसके through वो बच गई. But it was a big crime, a killing मतलब, और सारे लोग like they were making a video of it. कोई किसी को केयर करने के थ्रू कोई केयर नहीं कर रहा था. एंड उस पर मैंने एक आवाज़ लगाई, मतलब इंस्टा पे आई जस्ट पुट द स्टोरी एंड वेयर आई रिटन दिस वाज द बिहेवियर ऑफ द वुमन डन बाय हर. टेल मी, शेयर द स्टोरी एंड अवेयर एवरी सिंगल पर्सन कि ऐसा कोई इंसिडेंट हो तो आप लोग स्टैंड लो. बट कुछ 4-5 लोगों ने किया, बट इससे ज़्यादा किसी ने नहीं किया. देन फिर आई थॉट कि शायद मेरी वॉइस इतनी ज़्यादा वो नहीं होगी क्योंकि आई एम अ स्टूडेंट एंड आई एम नॉट वर्किंग ऑन दिस फील्ड और समथिंग. तो मैं एक स्टूडेंट हूँ, वेयर लाइक आई एम अराउंड 20 years old और 21 year old गर्ल. तो मेरी कौन सुनेगा इतने ज़्यादा. तो फिर आई जस्ट फॉर लाइक वन डे में ही मैंने वो पोस्ट हटा दी क्योंकि कोई इतना
So see, the thing is, you have to do whatever is best in your capacity. It's not about you being a student. It's not about your age as well. Okay, it's not about one single voice. One single voice only से ही शुरू होता है. You have to start raising voice. So you can go to Menaka Gandhi's PFA's office and we can talk about this offline, that if you come across such a situation, what is you do. But that is the maximum that you can do. Then it is up to the authorities to take action. What I would suggest, and I have also gone to authorities at different point in time for different issues. Sometimes things get resolved, sometimes they don't get resolved at all. They get stuck somewhere. And like you said, this person was out and never was in jail and things like that. So we can't take care of that. We just do our part. That is very, very important. And the important thing is stay positive. I know these things can get very disturbing and very pressing, but it's important that we stay positive. Believe in what we do. If we have a doubt that what we're doing is causing, for you taking care of an animal, your intention is to give them a better life. Your intention is not to take care of what neighbors think and to please the neighbors or think of neighbors and all of that. But at the same time, you have to make sure that your action, which is an action of compassion, your action is not causing distress to anyone else around. So, and in such situations, if you come across any such situation, we can try and guide you as to how to deal with such matters, because your safety is important as well. But at the same time, you keep your intention and be true to that you want to take care of animals and do the things in the right spirit. It may cause some inconvenience because you have to change your feeding time, because out of sight is out of mind. And I've seen, trust me, it works. You go at hour like 10 p.m. when there is nobody, no shops are open, there's no movement of vehicle, no people are around. It helps. You start feeding them, and slowly people will start seeing that consistency in you, and they will start coming out and start feeding. It takes a while. Like I know I was feeding in colony in Delhi for 7 years, but it's only in the 8th year somebody has come forward to say, oh, I want to get the dog sterilized. Oh, I want to feed the dogs. 8 years it took. So and this person wants to feed 2 dogs. I was like, fine, please do that. So stay positive, stay true to the intention, what you want to do. There will always be a noise. There will always be a noise around. And for whatever good work you do, or whatever work is done, there's always some noise. You don't have to concentrate on that. You have to keep your safety first, and then take care of the animals as per the in a strict discipline manner. Trust me, it'll work. And all these little issues that you see around, where somebody is cruel, you try to educate them, but if you go to them, talk to them in an aggressive tone, and when they're in the heat of a moment, they will not listen to you. You don't need to do that. You need to just make sure that the topic is over and then and there, and then you go approach that person later to try and make them person aware. Education does not guarantee. Yes. So education does not guarantee that. I have seen, like in the video also, you've seen that little bacha who was like on the roadside. The way he was petting this little pup, Joe, you hardly find such people on the street, educated people on the street. So most of the struggle is educated people only, so-called educated people. So education is not the parameter here. Like I have seen, the guards, the dhobis, all the helpers, they help out. So it's not the qualification. If somebody is a doctor, that does not qualify him or her to be a animal compassionate person. That doesn't guarantee that.
I can understand that some educated people are not the one. They only do these things. Illiterate people also do it, but वही चीज़ है. बाकी I am working on this field only for a social cause, it's for society only, for working in a special field, because now I'm doing a post graduation in B.Ed special ed. So teaching line में ही special ed में ही for working with the special children, we are giving a guidance like how to treat the animals or personal tips and everything I'm doing this at the age.
Brilliant. Yeah. So see, you're definitely helping out. Little with your little actions, whatever actions, you're definitely in the right direction. And with these sessions like this, and thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure many people may not have experienced what you've experienced, but it's a learning, it's an education awareness program, and that's why we are here.
I wanted to do extra things. So when I was in a Stephen only and I was doing my classes, was going there. So I was just extra curriculum. I was doing a British Council course or some social course for the special children, like disabilities, where I have learned 21 disabilities, where I was working with 21 disabilities like speech therapy, occupational, and the different therapies. So I was doing the other things also regarding my college and the other things pursuing.
Wow. Yeah. So truly inspiring.
I really like to engage, but in COVID-19 there is nothing to do, so I just do some creativity things like making mandala or some items or something, cooking and these things are different.
Okay, we'll find you something. You definitely,
At the age of like 20, 21, I just wanted to be like doing everything. I want to be like professional in everything, but as a child, people just think, why are you doing in the very early age? You want to gain this, get this and this. At the 20 age only, I was like doing this and that only. When we were like,
so that's inspiring.
focus on graduation, not do these things, working on this and other stuff like working with tuitions and doing these things. But I was like, no, I want to do this. When I was
Yeah.
free, till like 5 o'clock in my college are free, then 5 o'clock to 7 to 8 hours, 2 hours giving a tuitions or some doing a social cause or something. Coming back
Yeah.
to home.
So
in
that's
business.
that's really great, Sampada, and that's very inspiring. I'm sure you've inspired a lot of us today, and we can talk offline for sure and see how best we can help you and you can help the cause. You're definitely dealing with a very bigger, larger cause. Thank you so much. I hope this has answered some of your questions, and if there are more, we are happy to discuss it offline. We'll send you the link of finding, like, getting the feeder card as well, for sure. Okay, and let's
Ma'am, if you
let's
need any help regarding like social something like special and special children or something, so you can ask me because I have deal with, because I am now doing the RCI like Rehabilitation Council of India के साथ भी I have working it
Wow. Sure.
at the
We'll
age
be
of
in touch.
20.
Wow, that's amazing. No, we'll be in touch,
I would
Sampada,
like
for
to
sure.
interrupt a little here. So it's wonderful, Sampada, to hear from you. In fact, like I think towards the end of the session, we will talk about the ways in which you can volunteer and use your own expertise. So maybe we can work together and see how we can help each other out, because that's what the point is. So
Absolutely, yeah.
for now, I really, since we are running out of time, and we would love to have individual discussions with each one of you on a separate offline basis. So let's go ahead with the presentation, and after that we can get to you, Sampada. We would love to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sampada. So, so what can we do? And a lot of things that Sampada has already highlighted. So here are the few things: keeping food for them, keeping water, creating a makeshift shade to save them from heat and rain. So when these advisories came, just to go back to, we've discussed quite a lot here. When these advisories have come, there's still lockdown we face, still the pandemic is on, the struggle is still on for stray animals. So there is a lot, and definitely each one of us there is something we all can do. And that's why we have these things. You can keep food, water, create a makeshift shade to save them from heat and rain. What are the other things, tell me, and some of the things that Sampada has also mentioned, but I want to hear from others. If you can unmute yourself and tell me, what are some of the other things that you can do? And obviously keeping food and water is based on responsible feeding guidelines that I've shared, that go at an hour when there is less people around, less calf movement around, cars are not less around, and then at a secluded spot where there is no human is getting stressed. See, the whole idea of saving animals does not mean you cause stress to human beings. We need to learn to coexist, and that is when we start doing that, we practice that, what we're preaching, then only things will become a little better. So tell me, I want to hear from others, what are the other things that we can do? We've shared some of that in the last slide, but I want to hear from you. How can we make our their lives better in whatever little capacity that we have? We have leftover food at home. We don't, instead of throwing it from the balconies or throwing here and there, we can just put it in a clean pot near the house, find a feeding spot, create a feeding spot, and put it all leftover there. Not a rotten food, not spoiled food, but edible food, and then clean water. And you can keep water for dogs. Their birds will also come. But if you keep it at a height, if you keep the water on a height, dogs or cats won't be able to go take the water. So it's important you keep the water pots in the feeding area where the birds will also come and drink water. To create a makeshift, like it was raining very badly, like we had a rainy season recently, and so a lot of lives got lost. So it is important, whatever little shade we can create, we can open up parking lots, we can open up parking spaces, or like let them be under our car vehicles if possible, near the shops, talk to the local shopkeepers, or create something from the little waste material for them. It is possible. We are all creative, and you guys all are so creative and so inspiring. I'm sure we all can do a little bit here. But tell me, what else? What else is possible? Yeah, so we can help an animal in distress. So if you see an injured dog, call an ambulance, call the local volunteers. Don't turn a blind eye. You may be saving a life by just getting the first aid done. You can also, if you're a regular feeder, it is very important. It's a prerequisite. If you're a regular feeder, you can learn to learn to how to do first aid. You can definitely learn to do that, and we can arrange a workshop for the dedicated ones who really want to learn how to do first aid, and we can do that. We can arrange some session for you, a dedicated, focused one. But make sure that you don't leave an animal if it's in distress. Call a local NGO, call local volunteers, find a way to help that animal, get some help for that animal. Okay. Foster a distressed dog or cat. A lot of dogs got abandoned, a lot of animals got abandoned, pets got abandoned. You can foster. You can't keep a pet, because keeping a pet is like a lifelong commitment. But you can definitely foster. Foster means that you keep the dog or the cat for 2 to 3 week or a month period, depending on, and you help the adoption coordinator to find a good home. So, and fostering will also help you without a long-term commitment, but a short-term commitment. If you're a student, you have a little space, you can provide food and water and proper care. Talk to the rescuer, keep the dog. Instead of sending the dog to a shelter, home is anyways a better place. And trust me, dogs do really well. If they heal up in a family environment, it helps them prepare for a forever home once they get adopted. It may take a while, like more than a month sometimes, but work with the rescuer and see if this is definitely one way. You don't have to do all of this. One of the many things that you can do in your capacity. Adopt a distressed dog. If you're committed, if your family permits, it's everybody's decision. It's not just, I want a dog, I want to keep a pet. No, it is everybody's decision in the house. If you're staying with your grandparents, you have to be considerate of elderly, their old age. You can't get a jumpy dog, you can't get a dog or a cat which is not suitable for the family, that kind of a family setup. So it is a lifelong commitment. Talk to the adoption coordinator and then adopt the dog suitable for your family. But make sure that it's not like a birthday gift. It is a forever gift or forever family member. The dog or cat will be. Okay? Be the voice. So like Sampada was sharing earlier, be the voice. Be the first one. If you've posted on Facebook or Instagram about a cruelty event or incident that has happened, don't delete them just because people are not following it. Do not delete them. Raise the voice, forward it to groups. If you are not able to do it, 10 people will add to your voice. They may be able to take action, but raise the voice. So the discussions that we are having today, it's important that you also share that, spread that word out, that it's easy to be compassionate. It's not very difficult. We all can do a little bit, for sure. Sponsor food and medicines. It happens for sure. You may not be able to go out to feed a dog or take care of a distressed animal, may be able to foster or adopt or create a shade. It is absolutely okay. That does not make you a non-compassionate or no, you're not a dog lover. No, it is not. That is not the definition of a dog lover or an animal lover. You can always sponsor. You can buy things through Amazon, get it donated directly, dropped at a shelter or a rescue home or with somebody who's got an abandoned pet or a foster. Let's say two friends, one friend decides to foster a pet, gives the place. The other friend decides to sponsor the food. Third friend decides to sponsor the medicines. It's divided. No one person gets really burdened with and it's a shared responsibility. And you can donate. If you can't buy stuff, it's absolutely okay. You can always give cash and contribute directly. And the organization will buy, or the rescuer or whosoever. Like Straw is running a fundraiser right now for sterilization vaccination of stray animals. That's as one of the campaigns. As we're just doing that, and we also do have a fundraiser on the education programs. So you can contribute. You can go to our website strawindia.org and you can donate. You can ask your friends and family to donate. And through that website, you can let us know if you want that money to go towards education programs, or you want that to go towards vaccination or sterilization programs, so that we all can help. You just have to start with an intention that you want to help and stick to it. That's very important. There will always be noise. There will be people who are saying don't keep food here, don't keep water here, don't make shade here. But do whatever decision you take, whatever step you want to, and there are many more, and I want to hear from all of you. Any other thing that you think we can do? Anyone?
Is there anything that you have already done here out of these options, or you have seen somebody in your locality do?
Or are you doing it in your college?
Yeah. Sampada has shared that she's doing that in her colony. Anyone else would like to share their experience or have adopted a pet or any of this?
So Shinchini says neon colored dog collars are available in pet shops. We can give stray dogs these collars to save them from being hit by vehicles at night.
Absolutely, and we can tell you, yes, and we can connect you to organizations that give you at a very nominal cost, like 30 to 40 rupees per band. Yes, you can do that. Reflective collars, not just for dogs, but also for cattle, for cows, stray cows. You can put them on, and yeah, that's a great thought. Save them from the accident, and winters are approaching, so this would be the best time. But make sure that you can put names also, like which colony do they belong to. If there is a feeder, make sure do it with a feeder around, because you would need to catch hold of the dog or the cattle and feed, put the band. But it's a great idea, yes. So the whole idea is, and I've been saying this all throughout, each one can take care of one. Only if one person can decide that I just want to take care of one dog. You don't have to take care of the entire colony's dog, entire society's dog, or birds, or other animals. You can just start with one. Give them the parking space, give them food and water. Do a little bit from any of the options that we've shared with you, like Shinjini shared. Sponsor the reflective bands. So let's all pledge that we can, and we will at least take care of one. And be the voice. I mean, even if nothing, just be the person who's just creating a video. So what happened? So we are talking about pandemic. The situation we've spoken about, like the situation was really worse for stray animals. Now, but we had animal welfare advisory coming out. We had local feeders, because of which they started coming out and started feeding, and feeding resumed. This pandemic has really made us realize that there are so many feeders, so many people are already doing so much in their little individual capacity all around India. And when society, authorities, and we all come together in whatever little capacity, we do great things together. So here are some of the pictures that we have. So this is the cats that you see near a temple, residential colony, stray cats being fed on a regular basis. Then this is what I was feeding. This is cattle. I have seen cows fighting with dogs for the food. So I had to make sure. I also realized early on in the lockdown that I have to start arranging food for them. So this is near my house. Then the food. So this is like an old tank that we see. Take somebody's help. This little water bowl that you see, a big bowl of water. This became water for dogs, pups, and the cows as well. It's so huge. And then just feed them. So really good things happen. You're able to get the dogs vaccinated, take care of injured animals. Ipshita, do you want to share a little bit from how your society was coming together and just doing stuff for the dogs and cows in your colony?
Sure. So what I would like to say is I live in Delhi and I'm living in a colony called Sabdaj Enclave. And now about Sabdaj Enclave, the thing is that the colony, if any of you have come this side, you would know. we don't really have a very strong residential welfare association. No, we don't have that. Many places that do often get together to plan out these things better as to how they can keep food outside, how they can carry out sterilization. It happens in a much organized and structured way. Unfortunately, that's not how it happened in our colony. But fortunately, there were a lot of people who have been dog lovers, who have been animal lovers, and if you just walk by, you will notice there is a bowl of water in front of many houses. There's a certain time at which there'll be khana outside every ghar. So, in fact, I would say, like, we are talking about a grim reality in our colony. If you come, you'll see doggies move around different territories. Like, if they are in the mood, they will go to one house. If they are in another mood, they will go and eat food from another house. Depending on कौन सा cuisine खाने का मन करता है, क्योंकि हर घर से they are going to get कुछ और तरीके का खाना. So depending on, कभी-कभी जब हम देंगे खाना अपने घर से, तो हो सकता है at that time they don't feel like eating because they've already eaten in some other house. So you can say they're quite spoiled for choice over here, but that's all because the people, the residents have taken that much of effort, initiative and heart to do this. Also, there are small eateries that have started opening up in our colony. Like, there are small momo shops, there are small little tandoori shops. So people have started keeping food outside, and jo bhi khana hota hai left over, they keep it outside. Yes, but in the process, we also need to be careful of one thing that I noticed from my personal experience while giving food. Dogs are very territorial. So the thing is that if they see that they are coming to your house at a particular time and getting that food, they will not allow another dog, another street dog out of their club to come and eat over there. So, and then usse kya hota hai, there might be a fight that starts happening between the dogs. So you need to be careful about that. Another thing you need to be careful is that the lanes are narrow. So there are speeding bikes that go, speeding cars. So you have to be very careful that you don't keep food. You keep the food away from the road. You keep it nearer your house. You keep it somewhere in the corner, under a tree, near a gate. Also not in front of anybody else's house, but in front of your house or near a park. So you have to choose your spot where you're giving khana in a very responsible way. That is what has been happening in our colony.
WA at Vasant Kunj where I stay. And in fact, we got special permission. There's a person who comes and, we all cool in, and there's a person who cooks food, and there is a boy who otherwise irons the clothes here. He's a dhobi here. He feeds the dogs. And he was not allowed to come inside during the lockdown. But we got special permission for him, and the president was so nice to grant it to him. So he was allowed inside, and he used to come and he used to feed the dogs. So that's how the dogs got fed. Yeah. Yeah, Preeti.
Okay, I just wanted to unmute myself. Yeah, okay. So thank you for sharing. Yes, so see, the guards, dhobis, the house helps that you have in your colonies, they are the best bet. You don't have to give them money, but they are just compassionate by nature. But they also learn, if you are consistent in your behavior, like Ipshita said, don't feed in front of somebody else's house because they don't want to get into any trouble. So find a feeding spot, create a feeding spot, put a little board out there. It is allowed. You go to Animal Welfare Board of India's website, you will find some examples. And do your little bit and take help. It's not possible for sometimes because of the situation at home or studies or other things, we may not be able to go out feed regularly. But there are a lot of ways that we all can help. Okay. And if you have any pictures from your colonies, from your societies where you feed or you be part of any such engagement, please do share with us. We'll be more than happy to post it on our social media pages for you. Here are some steps, 5 simple steps of being a responsible feeder. And trust me, if you do this, I'm not saying that this guarantees that there'll be no neighbor shouting at you, but you doing things by the law and responsibly. So even if you go to authorities tomorrow, you'll be on the right side. So feeding spot, find a feeding spot, very important. and it should not be around staircase, it should not be around residences, it should not be even around your own house. Trust me, if you're staying in a building where there are a lot of other apartments, it won't be ideal. Not near a park, not near a library. Find a fixed hour, either early morning or late evenings are better, or afternoons are also okay when less people around, but follow that. Dogs by nature are very disciplined and punctual, so even if let's say you have a 9 o'clock time, by 8:50 they will start moving towards that feeding spot. Keep the bowl. It will take usually a week, 5 to 7 days to adjust a dog to a new feeding spot, but you can start as soon as possible. Quality over quantity, very important. Don't give rotten food, spoiled food. Give food which is leftover from the house, edible food. If you want to give biscuits, it's fine. Parle-G is not recommended for very one reason. See, if you're giving it to a stressed dog or a dog who's injured, please don't think about what to give or not to give. Just give food, which is important, to give medicine. But Parle-G in itself, because it just aggravates the hunger. So you've seen a lot of times, and I think in IIT Delhi, a lot of students used to tell us that we give them Parle-G, we give them food. According to them, Parle-G was food, which is not a food. But Parle-G, and then they keep following us. That will happen because it will just aggravate their hunger. It's not going to satisfy. It's not appetizing at all. So if you're giving Parle-G, just try and mix it with some milk, bread, other things as well to make it a proper meal. You decide if you want to give it once a day, please do that. Twice a day, please do that. But quality is important over quantity. Okay? And don't throw the wrappers there. Don't litter. Keep it litter free. If you take a milk packet, don't leave the milk packet there, because that's where the neighbors and the colony society will start questioning, and you will start coming into the light of like you creating nuisance rather than a person who's compassionate, you will become the person who's creating more nuisance. So let's not do that. Let's keep it litter free. Also, spay and neuter. Work with the organization. We're going to share some names with you at the end of this in like next 2 minutes. Sterilization, vaccination, very important. Work with the local NGOs, work with the local feeders, create a group who can help catch the dogs humane way, and offline we can help you with some numbers if you like, and get them sterilized. That will be the best gift, I always say. If you see an animal, injured animal, please raise an alarm, call for an ambulance. Don't turn a blind eye. That's very important. And call for an ambulance. So these are the simple 5 steps. Very responsibly, you can all do that, and I'm sure most of you are already doing that in your capacity. And just spread the message around that, like whatever we've discussed here, it is possible. Okay. So every small act of kindness matters. So here we have a little, so we all can make a difference and we can all start today. Here are the few that we have. On the right side, the shade that you see, it's just made up of cardboard in Vasanti ma'am's area. And the 3 dogs that you see. Yeah.
So Vasanti ma'am's house. This is for a stray dog that we made.
Oh, okay. This is house. Okay. Wow. And the 3 dogs that you see, those are Vasanti ma'am's pets. They're all rescued. So we can all do a little bit. And do you see a little whining? Because one of my pet is locked outside this room where I am. So, and it's been an hour, so he just wants to check if I'm all right doing this session. Any questions? I know we've had an interactive session, but I just wanted to check with you. Any questions, any thoughts? Please feel free to share. And I would really love to hear your voices. Okay, Ipshita, is there anything in the chat window? Are you all still there, logged in? I just want to check because I can't see anyone. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, great. So any thoughts, any questions? You may not have question now, but maybe later. You can definitely write to us. But I just want to hear from you now. So, in addition to what Ipshita said, just want to say that you can learn first aid, dedicated feeders who've been feeding for a long time. Please learn first aid. We can arrange a workshop for you. You can contact us. That is one of the topics that I recommend that you do, learn. And then similarly, as Ipshita said, if there is any other topic on animal welfare that you want to specifically, any one part of that, like for instance, what to feed, from where to source food, how to get the reflective collars, for instance, anything, just write to us. Our email ID is this: contact@strawindia.org. Here are the list of some resources. We will send this to you on email as well. These are some shelters. This is Neighborhood Booth. This is very close to St. Stephen's. Actually, the founder is also St. Stephen's alumni. And then these are some organizations that can help you with the adoption, the foster, spay, neuter programs. And they help with the sponsoring of vaccinations also sometimes. So these resources, we also have some blogs on how to save pets from COVID. Please, so these are some resources that you can definitely refer and share with your friends and family. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.